Headlines Sunday, the 18th of January, 2009. Killing continues despite imminent Israeli ceasefire has been updated. Mission complete, Israel announced a ceasefire in Gaza and has been updated. A barrage of rockets as Hamas rejects Israeli ceasefire. Pokies rake in Rudds stimulus bonus. Teenager charged over sister stabbing. Blast hits German embassy in Kabul. First visas for Rudds' new asylum policy. Opposition demand budget bank balance. Mother hands in son over tourist rape. Sartor speaks out, I'm not after Reese's job. Update, stop faffing around, Sartor tells Labour to get behind Reese. Missing engine adds to plane crash mystery. Coles forced to drop deceptive logos. Churches pushed to change child sex laws. One dead, one missing after late night swim. From news.com.au, lunar rover to drive Obama's parade. Pop star boy George jailed for tying up and beating a male escort. Steve Jobs' cancer may have recurred, from doctors. And Melbourne's Daily Planet brothel accused of having a secret door. From Piers Akerman, polls favour O'Farrell. One has to admit the slogan, Jovial Joe for Premier, has a certain ring to it, but at this stage, 2 years out from an election, it may owe more to wishful thinking than political reality. From Tim Blair, prove your Hamas hamworthiness. Take the Super Hamas Fanboy multiple choice quiz. You're going to need to click on that to see what that's about. Keep on changing. He promised change, and change he delivers. For example, Barack Obama has completely changed his biggest national security priority. He said, we will kill bin Laden, we will crush Al-Qaeda. That has to be our biggest national security priority. Obama said that during the presidential debate on October the 7th. But now, my preference obviously would be to capture or kill him, he said, but if we have so tight in the noose that he's in a cave somewhere and can't even communicate with his operatives, then we will meet our goal of protecting America. Change. Obama's also changed his timetable for closing Gitmo. You'll have to click on the link if you want to see more. He's changed quite a bit. Dead debate rages. The debate is over and over. But nobody told the Sydney Morning Herald. Our addiction to cheap coal is under pressure as the climate debate rages and business tries to profit from alternatives. Rockets have rolled. The delivery of modest homemade rockets into Israel has been slowed for some reason. And Ravy Davies, also by Tim Blair, seriously asks James Morrow, how much functional difference is there between Ann Davies' puff stuff on Obama today and this? You'll have to click on the link to see that. Well, they are similar, but the latter does seem a little more restrained. Also, it's possibly written by someone who isn't completely shameless. And there's a YouTube posting there for Senator Joe Biden's commemorative plate, which is worth taking a look at. And another update, as reader Muzz Gray observes, Davies claimed that George W. Bush leaves behind a warming planet. Well, that's wrong. It's exactly wrong. The planet cooled under Bush. Great Australian. The first Australian winner of the Victoria Cross since 1969. With enemy fire whizzing and thudding all around, Trooper Mark Donaldson was faced with a choice to save himself or to risk his life to save his wounded comrade. Caught in a Taliban ambush of rockets and machine guns, Dono Donaldson had already deliberately put himself in the firing line to draw enemy fire away from the wounded. But as he and his SAS mates instigated a fighting withdrawal, he realized a badly wounded Afghan interpreter had been left behind. What he did next won him the Victoria Cross, the first awarded to an Australian for nearly 40 years. Donaldson joins only 10 surviving VC winners. Andrew Wyeth by Tim Blair. Painter Andrew Wyeth has died at the age of 91. Art critics mostly heaped abuse on his works, reports the New York Times, saying he gave realism a bad name. About his most famous work, Wyeth had seen Christina Olson crippled from the waist down, dragging herself across a Maine field like a crab on a New England shore, he recalled. To him, she was a model of dignity who refused to use a wheelchair and preferred to live in squalor rather than be beholden to anyone. Update, in earlier art news, a Melbourne gallery has been embarrassed after it emerged that a vivid artwork it chose to display in a forthcoming exhibition was actually created by a 2-year-old. The gallery is in Brunswick Street. I guess the children get their revenge on all that nude artwork. And unaffiliated people are always in trouble. A politician from some kind of nameless mystery party faces child sex assault charges. And biohazard. First it turned out that Toyota's Prius is useless in snow, and now the Bloomington School District is closing schools Friday after extremely cold temperature caused the biodiesel fuel in school buses to clog. Add biodiesel to the list of warmy cures that don't work. The graceless and disrespectful Barack Obama will soon be President of the United States, but there's going to be a big cost for him being President of the US. As part of his inauguration parade today, there's going to be one of the rovers that might be used on the moon following him about, allowing him to be able to sit in or play with or what have you. It's an expensive toy. It's an empty symbol. It's an important device that will be of vast use when we finally get it landed on the moon. But what purpose does it serve in Barack Obama's parade? When the Democrats have opposed a lot of the work that was supported by the Bush administration in getting NASA to direct work to the moon and to Mars. Another cost of the Barack Obama administration is going to be what's going to happen overseas with foreign policy. In the Middle East, we have an example. Barack Obama has no particular plans. He talks about involving the UN. Well, the UN this morning had one of its spokespeople defending a school that was attacked by an Israeli tank. 2 young boys had died in the assault. Why the Israelis assaulted that particular school, why it was targeted, was not made clear. Maybe it was an accident, but accidents will happen when people are in a war situation. What has not been addressed by the United Nations in 8 years have been the continuous launching by Hamas of rockets into Israel. What also has not been addressed by the UN in the last 8 years, but which the Democrats have called for the UN to be involved with, not to any particular purpose, has been the kidnapping of Israeli soldiers and the fighting against Israel, but not in a warlike manner, the targeting of civilians, the use of terrorism. The United Nations seems to be endorsing terrorist activity against Israel. And that's just not acceptable. And you've got, coming into the US presidency, Barack Obama. And Barack Obama does not seem like he's going to be able to do anything different to what President George W. Bush was doing. But also, not being very different, he is also not going to make any particular changes that will benefit. He might cut things, he might stop things from happening that could be useful, but he's not going to add anything useful himself. He offers nothing except rhetoric. Change we can believe in? Well, only if you accept change as being, for the Democrats, same old, same old.